going to be working with calculating using standard index form. So adding, subtracting, multiplying and dividing. First thing I want you to do is to pause this video and have a go at these 8 questions. They should be quite familiar from converting standard forms. So what you're doing is converting these standard forms into ordinary numbers, so writing out the full number. Okay, I'm going to put the answers up, so mark your answers, making sure you're filling in the ones you got incorrect. And now moving on. So when you're adding standard form, you can see that you have your standard form numbers where you've got your a times by 10 to the power of n, so 2 times by 10 to the 2 times by 10 to the power of 2 and 5 times by 10 to the power of 4, and you're adding. Okay, when you're adding standard form, the first thing you have to do, so step 1, is put them into your ordinary numbers. Make sure that you're copying these examples as I'm going along. So ordinary numbers would be 200 add 50,000. So what you're going to do is you're going to do that equation. So it will end up with 50,200. And then your answer would have to go back into standard form. So back into standard form, you should all know, put your decimal where it needs to go. And then you count backwards. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it goes back to 4 spaces. So your final answer would be 5.02 times by 10 to the power of 4. Very similarly, the next question, the next example, we've got 4.2 times by 10 to the power of minus 5 plus 7 times 10 to the power of minus 3. You write out your ordinary numbers, you compute your addition, giving you 0.007042, and then you put it back into standard form. So your decimal will be between the 7 and the 0, and you count, you go 1, 2, 3, and remember that it's a minus 3 because you're having a small number, so it's a negative notation, and because this one's a bigger number, it's a positive notation of your indices. Now, taking away, very similar to your adding, first thing you're going to do is put it into your ordinary numbers. So 7 times 10 to the power of 4 is 70,000, and 5 times 10 to the power of 2 is 500. Subtract them, you get 69,500. Putting them back into standard form, you put your decimal where it needs to be, and then count how many spaces. It's a large number, therefore your index notation will be positive. Next one as well, so you're taking away, first thing you do, write out your ordinary number. Compute your subtracting, so 0.012 take away 0.0002 gives you a 0.0118. You then put it into standard form, your decimal will go between your ones, and you'll end up, that's supposed to be a 2. So 1.18 times by 10 to the power of minus 2. Remember, when it's a small number, it's going to be a negative notation for your indices. So pause this video and have a go at these questions. Okay, the answer is going to come up now. Make sure that you're answering these questions, you're marking your answers. Okay, now the next 2 is multiplying and dividing standard form. But the first thing I'm just going to quickly review is when you're multiplying and dividing indices. So when you have the same base number, okay, and you have to multiply, all you have to do is add your indices. Okay, so for this first one, you don't need to copy this one down. We've got 10 to the power of 3 times by 10 to the power of 4. So all you're doing is adding your indices, giving you the 10 to the power of 7. 3 plus 4 gives you the power of 7. And now we'll do a quick one, another one. So 10 to the power of 8 times by 10 to the power of 2. We'll get 10 to the power of 8 plus 2, which gives you 10 to the power of 10. And now the opposite is dividing. So when you're dividing in indices, instead of multiplying, you have to do the inverse of add your indices. So you're going to subtract. So subtract your indices. So you're subtracting, so it's 10 to the power of 5 divided by 10 to the power of 2, so you do 10 to the power of 5, take away 2, which gives you your 10 to the power of 3. We'll do another one, so this one down here, 10 to the power of 3 divided by 10 to the power of 5, so you do 10 to the power of 3, take away 5, which gives you your 10 to the power of minus 2. So this is just a quick recap, hopefully you should all know how to do these. So multiplying standard form. When you multiply standard form, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to split up your standard form. So you're going to have your numbers first, okay, and then you're going to have your base, your powers of 10, okay, and these, remember, these are multiplying. So like I said, your numbers first, so 4 times 2, and then your powers of 10. 10 to the power of 2 times by 10 to the power of 4. And you're just going to calculate these as they are. So 4 times 2 is 8, and then 10 to the power of 2 times by 10 to the power of 4 is 10 to the power of 2 plus 4, because you're adding your indices because it's a multiply, which ends up giving you a final answer of 8 times 10 to the power of 6. Very similarly, the next one, so you split your numbers up, so 3.2 times 3, and then 10 to the power of 5 times by 10 to the power of minus 3. Remember, they are multiplying, okay? Because they are multiplying, you're going to add your indices, so you end up with 9.6 times by 10 to the power of 5 plus minus 3. A plus and a minus will give you a minus, so it's going to be 5 take away 3, which gives you an answer of 9.6 times 10 to the power of 2. Pause this video and have a go at these questions. And the answers are up now, so please mark your answers. And finally, dividing standard form. So very similar to your multiplication, you're going to first divide up your numbers. So you're going to have your 9 for this example and your 2 divided by, and then your next step is going to be 10 to the power of 5, and then 10 to the power of 8, which will give you 9 divided by 2 times by 10 to the power of 5 divided by 10 to the power of 8. So 9 divided by 2 is 4.5 times by 10 to the power of 5, take away 8, which gives you a final answer of 4.5 times by 10 to the power of minus 3. 5 take away 8 gives you the minus 3 there. And finally, this example, splitting up your numbers, 3.6 divided by 6 times by 10 to the power of minus 4 divided by 10 to the power of minus 8. You get 0.6 times by 10 to the power of minus 4 minus 8. Remember, a minus and a minus gives you a positive, so it's going to be minus 4 plus 8. Gives you an answer of 0.2 times by 10 to the power of 4. Okay, but remember, this is not in standard form. Okay, and why is that? Because that number is smaller than 1. So to put it in standard form, you have to move your decimal one place to the right, giving you a final answer of 6 times 10 to the power of 3. So try these questions out, pause this video and give these a go. And now I'm going to put up the answers, so mark your answers please.